What's up everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends Hawkeye 6-inch action figure from the Disney Plus TV show. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, or even hit that super thanks button. I appreciate all engagement. So let's have a quick look at the box. On top we have that Hawkeye logo, and down to the bottom, some product information. Down to the side, a photo of Hawkeye. He looks quite concerned, getting ready for battle. And there's also a couple of graphic elements that's consistent with what we see on the TV show. At the back of the box, that same picture of Hawkeye, description of his character from the show, partnering with Kate Bishop, rest of the figures in the wave, as well as more product information. And finally, on that last side is the same photo of Hawkeye. So let's go ahead and get this guy open. Out of the packaging, the figure is on the plastic tray and it comes with a bow, a quiver, two interchangeable fists, as well as the Infinity Ultron Build-A-Figure left arm. Hawkeye's quiver is cast in a black plastic, and the arrows do feel like a separate pieces of plastic that are flexible and inserted at the top. On the other side of that quiver, you can see some hits of purple paint for the fins on those arrows. But sadly, that purple paint isn't painted on all the arrows, particularly those that are facing the back of the figure. There's a peg over here, so the peg on the quiver goes into the hole on his back to fit securely. Hawkeye's bow is also cast in a black plastic, and there's some cream paint over here for the wraps where he grips his bow. There's also a couple more technical details sculpted on that bow. The plastic for the bow is also soft and flexible. Hawkeye comes with a right gripping hand, and you can fit that bow in there. And coupled with his left open hand, he looks like he's just released an arrow. His two fists are cast in a purple plastic with skin tone paint for his fingers, and also some black paint for the panel design on his unique left glove. And of course, the paintwork matches up with his default hands as well. The two fists are articulated inwards as well as outwards. And those fists do come in handy to pose him in fighting stances. And he uses his fists quite regularly in the TV show. Sculpt-wise, I do find the proportions on this action figure a little strange. His arms appear to be a little long hanging down his sides, and that also perhaps makes his torso look a little too big as compared to his legs, which look a little short. And finally, his neck does appear to be a little too long for his body as well. Definitely much longer than the reference photo of Hawkeye from the show. His head sculpt though is quite a nice attempt. There's a lot of sculpting and paint details over here. From the wound and bandage on the top of the left side of his forehead, to his furrowed brows, and the lines in his forehead as well. The bruise on his right cheek really adds character to a bruised and battered Hawkeye. His blue eyes are also nicely painted on, and he's also got some shading over here for a 5 o'clock shadow, and that's around some color to his lips. Most of his torso is cast in black plastic, purple paint for that V-shaped panel on the middle of his chest. There's also gray paint for the lining of the different panels on his torso. That purple and gray paint is also present on his arms, with the pattern down his sleeves. This time from his bicep all the way to his hands, they are all cast in a purple plastic, and the paint being the black and the gray instead. The applications of black and grey paint are also nicely done on that elbow middle joint, so that's a nice touch. We move on to the back of the figure, and you will notice that he's got his strap for his quiver sculpted onto his torso as well. And this strap is actually integrated into his shirt, connecting over here on the top of his left shoulder, running all the way across his back, and then connecting to the lower front part on his right side of his torso. His sleeves are asymmetrically designed, but we see the same color palette of purple, black, and gray. His lower body is more unspectacular because we see more of that same black plastic, and that's just to show his jeans with a couple of sculpting details to show wrinkles all the way down his jeans leg. He's got brown plastic that's sculpted for his boots with a bit of brown paint over here on his ankles to show where the boots meet his pant leg. And finally, the boots themselves also have sculpted detail for the laces on the front. For articulation, Hawkeye has a ball hinge at the top, as well as another ball joint at the bottom of his neck. So it has quite impressive articulation, being able to spin all the way around, and both joints combining gets you good range of sideways tilting. He can also look down with pretty good range as well as up. And just like Kate, he has butterfly joints at his shoulders, so he can pull his arms back quite a good bit of range, as well as pull his arms forward into his chest as well. He's got a swivel hinge at the shoulders that go all the way around, as well as coming out quite far, and that's about 90 degrees. Swivel at the bicep for 360 spin, and now he's got double hinge pinless elbows with very good range, so he can touch his own shoulders. Swivel hinge at the wrist for 360 spin, as well as articulating in and out. Mid-torso hinge, so he's got ab crunch going forward quite a fair bit, as well as backward. He's got a waist swivel for 360 spin, ball joints at the hips that go out that far, which is pretty good for Hawkeye, and they also have good range forward and backward. Upper thigh swivel for 360 spin, double jointed pinless knees, quite good range. He's got a hinge on his ankle, so that gives you upward tilt, downward tilt, as well as ankle pivot outwards and inwards. Hawkeye is decently articulated, but I can't help that he would definitely greatly benefit from some trick arrow accessories, just like the Kate Bishop action figure. Hawkeye stands at about 6¼ inches, and that's about 16 centimeters. Hawkeye's a good height with Kate and Black Widow. Here he is with characters from the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series. And since he faces off with mobsters in the Hawkeye show, here he is with Kingpin and Jigsaw from the comics. And this is how he scales with the Marvel Legends 20 Years, Captain America, and Iron Man. Here he is with some G.I. Joe Classified series, and some Star Wars Black series. Hawkeye feels like quite an average figure. The head sculpt is cool, but the overall strange body proportions isn't great, and he does feel light on accessories. I'm not a huge fan of the show or the character, so I might be letting this one go. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, subscribe to my channel, or even hit that super thanks button. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.